Can you feel it? Our love for boxing, we cannot conceal it.
Good morning, boxing bros and broettes. It's the Bro Hammer here. It's early Sunday morning. I just got finished watching Chocolatito versus Sor Rungvisai. One of the most thorough butt whoopings that I've seen in a while. The fight was completely one-sided from the opening bell. I don't think Chocolatito won a single sequence in this fight. HBO was saying that he looked shot from the last fight. Whatever the excuses may be. And, they could be reasons, but, to me, he just got whatever aura of invincibility or, championship mentality beat out of him in the last fight. Even though the last fight was close. This was kind of similar to the Ward Kovalev fights, where in the first fight was very close. Ward won, except the reverse happened. Ward got knocked down. The last fight, Chocolatito got knocked down in his first fight with Sor Rungvisai. This fight was a little more thorough. You had a lot of people saying that Sor Rungvisai got away with the victory and Chocolatito was robbed. Look, guys, we have to be careful with using the term robbed. Okay, what is a robbery? A close fight that could go either way. Let's say 115, 113 to one guy, or 115, 113 to the other guy, or 114, 113, like a lot of people had Kovalev Ward scored, or Jacobs Golovkin. Those were close fights. They were not robberies. Okay, Kovalev wasn't robbed. Jacobs wasn't robbed. Manny Pacquiao may have been robbed in the first Timothy Bradley fight. That's a little more closer to a true robbery, where it's like you can't really find 5 rounds that the other guy won, and somehow he won the fight 8-4. Like that's closer to a robbery. But what I saw from Chocolatito, and I didn't see much from him. He looked tentative when he was throwing shots, and it was really because of the work that Sor Rungvisai was putting in. And even the commentators, I'm pretty sure Ward noticed this last night, but Lampley and sometimes Max is a little bit better when it comes to calling the fight objectively. They really didn't say too much about the body work that Sor Rungvisai was putting in from the first round. He was dropping that left hook to the body like it was a time bomb. Like you could hear the smacks, and I saw the look on Chocolatito's face a couple of times, and it was like, oh God, like he had beat him in the first round from what I saw. He beat him in the first round. By the second round, Chocolatito was beat. And it was that body work. The body work and the willingness to engage by Sor Rungvisai, just throwing shots. And he was the one landing and connecting. And I heard Max Kellerman say that Sor Rungvisai, he's a more plotting fighter. Look, man, I saw some beautiful boxing from him. He started slipping Chocolatito's shots. He would throw his combination and then he would roll out to the right, roll out to the left, and he was gone. Like that's beautiful boxing. That's using good footwork. And sometimes these commentators, they get so caught up in the hype of one fighter, they're not noticing all the good things that the other guy is doing. They're just saying, well, why isn't hype fighter doing what he usually does? A lot of the times it's because he's getting his butt beat. That's all it was. That's why he wasn't doing what he usually does. Sor Rungvisai was beating the hell out of him from the opening bell. It just wasn't a competitive fight. And those 2 right hooks that dropped him. The first one, I'm surprised that Chocolatito got up. He got up. He's a champion, former champion. Sor Rungvisai just laid it on him, and he caught him again with that right hook, and it was lights out. He was done. He was gone. That's the end of Chocolatito as a top fighter. It sounds harsh to say that, but typically in boxing, the smaller guys, they age faster than the bigger guys in boxing. For instance, they did make a good point on the telecast. I believe it was Max that said this. Usually by the age of 30, a lot of heavyweights are starting to come into their prime at 30. Mike Tyson being the outlier because he was kind of shot by the time he was 30. Most heavyweight fighters, by that time, they're coming into their prime. They're starting to get that grown man strength. It's not so much about supreme athleticism like it is in the smaller weight divisions as it is at heavyweight. It's a lot of power and technique involved. The fights don't go as fast. The heavyweights, at 30, they start to go into their prime. They're getting their grown man strength. The smaller guys, it seems like, start to rapidly decline at the age of 30. Sort of like the running backs in the NFL. After 30, usually they start to decline, and you see a steep decline. And that's what happened with Chocolatito. Just literally in 2 fights, he's done. And maybe it could be he came up against a guy that just had his number. But I don't know, man. It's like when Roy got knocked out by Tarver, he won the first round. Easily, he won the first round. And he got caught with I believe it was a left hand. Roy saw it, but his reflexes, he was just half a second off. And usually that punch will miss him by an inch. It didn't miss him this time. It caught him. It caught him right on the chin. 2004, day that will live in infamy for me. Okay, sorry. Had a moment there when I lost my hero. Put my chair up. I mean, that's pretty much it. HBO hyped this guy up. One of the boxing bros, Jody, made a good point. He said he didn't even know about him for the longest time. And most people don't know about the smaller guys. You have to be a super hardcore boxing fan to know about the minimum weight guys. And I think this fight was at 115 pounds. A lot of these guys are foreign fighters. You may have never heard from them. Some of them spend their whole careers, fighting in Asia or some country in Asia somewhere. Good point, Jody. I had never heard of Chocolatito, and all of a sudden he's number 1 pound for pound just because he was inching towards Rocky Marciano's record, like Jody said. And I thought about that. I said, he may have a point. Like, that's why I never put him at number 1 pound for pound. And I said, I know he moved up some divisions, but I think their divisions are like 115, 112, the gaps are kind of small. I never had him number 1. And I was like, if you're going to have him number 1 pound for pound, you might as well put Triple G number 1. Like, to me, if you're going to do that, like, how is he a better fighter than Triple G? I just didn't see it. He was always defensively irresponsible from the fights that I saw. And I mean, hell, Triple G isn't known for his defense, but he got a little better defense than that. He also has one of the best chins in boxing. He ran through the middleweight division, which is one of the crown divisions in boxing. I don't care what you say about it being weak at the time. He ducked no one. He ducked no one, and he fought all the guys he needed to fight, and he was ducked for like 4 years, 3 years in a row. Ducked by Sergio, ducked by Cotto, ducked by Canelo and his team until now. To me, that was more so on Golden Boy, but we'll talk about that in the Canelo Triple G video. So yeah, I mean, if you was gonna have him number 1 pound for pound, Chocolatito, you might as well put Triple G there. Really, he looks like the better fighter, and the eye test has to play a part in the pound for pound qualification. Some of it's resume, some of it is eye test. That's just who looks the part. And if they were the same size, Triple G would beat the snot out of Chocolatito. He just would. Because Chocolatito don't have no defense, and Triple G is an offensive wonderkin. To use that word I've never used before. So, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I like Chocolatito. He was a good little fighter. But it just almost seems like it's another one of those HBO hype jobs that, they usually do. They had another guy coming up. His name started with an M. I can't think of it right now, but he got knocked out. It may have been Ray Beltran that knocked him out. I'm not sure, but he got knocked out. And, that was the end of that. We'll see next week. We'll see which one of their, is Canelo going to be the one to be knocked off his pedestal? Is Triple G going to be the one to be knocked off his pedestal? That, they put these guys on. Now, personally, to me, I feel like both of those guys have earned the right to be up there. Some may not agree with either, but to me, I think they've earned the right. They have enough big names on their resume. They've been battle tested that they've earned the right to be hyped. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for Chocolatito. It was a dominating performance by Sor Rungvisai, how you say his name. Very dominated performance. Great body work. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. Start paying attention to that body work, guys. If you wonder why your guy starts slowing down, he doesn't have as much steam on his punches, it's probably because he's been getting ripped to the body. 10 times out of 10, that's what it is. The body work is very, very important in boxing, and it's a lost art. And a lot of fans don't pay attention to it because they're looking for those hellacious headshots. But in all honesty, I'd rather be knocked out cold in the head than have to deal with one of those debilitating body shots where I can't move and I'm in excruciating pain. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, as always, share, like, comment, and subscribe. Be looking out for that Triple G versus Canelo video coming up. I'll probably drop that today. It's going to be a review, kind of a history, and my prediction on the fight. But yeah, share, like, comment, and subscribe. Brohammer TV signing out.